Hello, my muses. My name is Julia Pagani, and I'm here to teach you everything about Notion from the very start, from zero, so that you can start duplicating templates, you can start organizing your life, you can start working with Notion. I am a official Notion template creator. I'm also a Notion consultant, so I got a little bit of propriety to teach you, okay? If you are a beginner, this is for you, but if you already know a lot about Notion or you know the basics, this might be too simple for you. There might be something else in the future that suits you more. I do not expect you to know anything, okay? We are going to look at every block. We are going to look at how I construct a simple template. You can download my free templates over at adventureempire.gumroad.com. There is a bundle where you get all of the free templates at once, so that could be something you can download later once you've gone through the workshop, and then you can try and duplicate those free templates, or you can start using them, you can start building something of your own. But for now, we are just going to look at the very basics. So what I want you to do right now is get your computer, and I suggest starting to learn through the computer. It is a much better UI. I do use the app, but I use the app to do daily quick things. Maybe look at my workout, update a goal, or write a idea on my inbox, GTD style, which we're not going to talk about any productivity methods, but it is not suitable to build a template or build something more complex or even basic, really. Build anything through the mobile. I do not recommend it. I do recommend you sit on the desktop to do this. Download Notion, get a free personal account going, because that's what we're going to be using. I am going to set up right now. You're not looking at it, but I'm going to set up right now, as we speak, a new blank workspace for myself. Okay, so that's a workspace. That's what you would see as well. That's what I hope you were seeing as well. So Notion automatically gives you a few options, a few templates. We are going to clear these templates. We're not going to use them for anything. So you can just go ahead and click clear, and it will automatically delete everything that it installed. Why? We are also gonna get rid of this. So first, actually, I'm going to present you the UI, the interface, so you know what is where, so that when I say, hey, press that button, you know where it is, okay? So on the left hand side, you have the menu, the sidebar, where you got your configurations, the name of your workspace over here, and a few other options such as create a team space, to go to the Notion gallery. You can actually find some of my templates there. The trash, import from other apps, a quick button for settings. You can also find the settings over here somewhere. No, I think it's over there only now. Okay, anyway. And you also got the option to view all your workspace. And as you can see, you could create more than one workspace. I sometimes create demos for bigger products as a new workspace, but don't worry about it right now, okay? Here you can create new workspaces. You can search, you can see an inbox, so which just shows recent updates, like an overview of your workspace. If you add a new page, if you added a page, if there is a notification you should see. You can also add a new private page, or you can press Command N. Okay, so one very, very helpful thing, which I always urge people to do when they are learning any app, if you want to be efficient, if you want to work fast, and sort of take a part of the tension of working with a new app, is to learn shortcuts. Notion people, the Notion team knows this, and they add the shortcuts for a lot of their functions as you hover on options. So creating a new page, it shows over there that it's Command N, and you can access the list of shortcuts, of keyboard shortcuts, if you press on the interrogation button and you find keyboard shortcuts. So after you've done the workshop, after you've gone through everything we're going to talk about here, I want you to open that page, leave it open on the side, and as you work and you were doing things, oh, I want to add, and I'm going to show you a few of them, okay? But it's helpful if you have it on the side so you memorize it. Oh, how do I don't know, move a block with a shortcut? Look at the list. It's gonna take some time to stop and look at the list, but it's gonna save you time in the future and take some of that stress of working with a new app. Because even though Notion is a very simple and straightforward app, it has a lot of functions and allows you to create in-depth templates, in-depth workspaces. So it will come in handy later, okay? And on the settings, you can edit your account, you can edit settings, you can change language and region. I almost said religion. Language and region. You can also change the settings of your workspace, the domain of your workspace. So you can outright Notion as a part of the domain, but you can put something like, I think my name is actually used as a workspace. I really need to find that Julia Pagani and cut her hair because I don't like it. So I can put something like this, for example, click update. And now if I want to export a website, it's gonna have my name over there. It's not gonna be a jumble of words, random words. On the right hand side, in the three dots, and I'm not gonna go in depth with all of the stuff right now, just the important things. We have style, export options, we've got duplicate, and you can see the duplicates Command D. You can copy the link of a page, which can come in handy if you are making connections, if you want to mention a page. You can move a page with Command Shift P. You can undo with Command Z, which is, for most apps, it's Command Z, or Command Shift Z to redo. I think it's Shift, or is it Alt? I'm not sure. If you are on Mac, if you are on Windows, you're gonna see Control. So whenever I say Command, you know that if you are on Windows, I mean Control, whatever, okay? I might not always remember to say the Windows shortcut, sorry, but and then we have a few other options here. What we're gonna use the most, probably what I use the most at least, probably these customizations. I really do like small text, and I normally go with serif because I have a problem with diction and reading, and I find it easier to read serif fonts, so I normally choose serif. A lot of my templates, when you duplicate them, will have the serif, especially if they are more intricate. So if you have difficulties in focusing, if you have difficulties with reading, if you have difficulties with understanding what you're reading, go with a serif because it's going to be helpful. You can also lock a page so it doesn't have nothing can be changed in that page. I don't use that a lot. I normally lock the databases. That's something we're going to see by the end of this. And then I also use a lot to duplicate, but I normally use the Command D option or Alt drag. You can Alt and drag anything in any app. I would say like 80% of the apps, of the programs, if you press Alt and you drag something, you're gonna duplicate whatever it is. delete and move. That's basically what we care about right now, okay? In the middle, we've got, oh, and there is the favorite button, which is the little star over here. In the middle, we've got our content. Every page has a title, and every page allows you to add an icon, a cover, and a comment. The only thing that I do is usually add an icon because I can separate things. I like to use mnemonics, which are little mental shortcuts to help me help me remember. See my diction going already? Icons are important for me, for efficiency, for memorizing what each page does so that I don't have to think or read the title of the page. I know that if I have a heart, it's going to be my wish list. If I have a box with a check, it's going to be a task. And then if I have multiple task pages, I'm going to use different task, different check icons, and I know which one it belongs to. Okay? So colors also help a lot with this. Wish list for me are usually red. My plant stuff is green, so that you can separate things visually and make sense of things without having to think too much. That's very important in terms of efficiency. The more you have to think, the less efficient you're gonna be. The more cognitive force you're gonna have to do in order to understand what's in the page, okay? In the middle of the page, well, we got our content, and we can hide the sidebar. I do not have access to that, like, because it's showing comment plus the bar, the bar that does the inverse bar. I don't know what's called in English. So I always have to click this button, and it bothers me, the fact that you cannot change the keyboard shortcuts, but whatever. We are gonna spend a lot of our time in the middle of the page, okay? And each line on a page, ignoring the title, each line on a page, welcome to Notion, here are the basics, click anywhere. All of these are what we call blocks. And Notion has a lot of blocks, and they are always adding new blocks and updating blocks. And blocks can be accessed in two ways. By typing the comment, which I do have access to, thank God. Name of the block. If you just want to write, you just click on a page and you start writing, or with the plus button. Click to add below, option click to add above. On Windows, I'm not sure what option, I think it's Alt. Control maybe? Not Control, Alt. I think option is Alt. Because on some keyboards on Mac also have Alt, but whatever. If you are on Windows, leave a comment saying, hey, comment is Control, option is Alt, so people know. But I prefer working more efficiently, so I learned the name of the blocks, and you're gonna learn over time as you use them. So it says here as well, hit / I think that's what's called, to see all the types of content you can add, etc., etc. A few blocks, such as headings, such as toggles, such as lists, they use Markdown, which is a type of formatting. You don't need to know that. Just, it is, but you don't have to remember. Which means we have different shortcuts. It makes it even faster for us to work, okay? And we are gonna go over these shortcuts as well. For now, what I'm gonna do is click and drag and delete all of these blocks. So we have a empty screen. If you want, okay, grab a paper, put it on your side, and start writing the keyboard shortcuts I say. Because I'm gonna tell you one right now that you're gonna go like, okay? Pay attention. You here with me? Command or Control, backspace. Erase the entire line. Welcome. Okay, you can also do option for one entire or Alt for the entire word instead of the entire line. Command Z. Welcome. I know. A lot of people are gonna be like, oh my god, how did I never know about this? Super helpful. So I'm gonna do testing blocks, and I'm gonna add an icon. And icons, you can do emoji or icons, or you can upload your own custom icons. You can download them from the internet, from somewhere. I don't like the custom icons because they don't adapt if you're using light or dark mode. I prefer sticking with emojis or icons. They work better. And do not spend 300 years customizing your page. Stop with that. A lot of people struggle with customization in Notion. Notion is supposed to be efficient, not aesthetic. Get over it, okay? Stop spending your time trying to customize everything. So for a test, I'm just gonna simply type circle. Maybe a little darker color. Testing blocks, that's enough, okay? Neutral color, neutral shape, good. So from the title, we're gonna press enter. And now it shows that you can press space for AI, and you got a little bit of AI work for free when you create a new workspace, and / for comments. Or you can also search for blocks with the plus. We got a few different types of blocks. We have embed blocks, we have basic blocks, we got database, which are basically Excel tables on steroids. And we're gonna look at databases as well. And we got integrations as well. So, and media, of course. Database, AI blocks, advanced blocks, and the embeds, so integrations and embeds. You can get a PDF, you can embed a Canva document, now you can embed Adobe XD, a lot of people use that. You can sync databases with other apps, and you can import as well from other documents. But let's go with the basics. So text, for example, you can just simply go ahead and type whatever you want, and the moment that you press a enter, you are creating another block. Okay, to add a sub page, so Notion kind of works as what's the name of that website? Wikipedia. Notion works a little bit like Wikipedia, where Wikipedia will link and take you to other related pages, and that's kind of how you should think of organizing your Notion as well. So let's say that you want to organize your personal life, then you might want to have a personal page, and inside that page you include other things. For example, you could include your finances, your personal finances. You could include your hobby, something related to a hobby. If you have plants, you could download my free plant tracker and put into your personal space. Those pages can be linked anywhere, just like Wikipedia, anywhere. You can just press a button, which you're gonna look later, and mention that page. We call it mentioning a page. So it's kind of like mentioning someone on social media. It works the same, okay? It works exactly the same. When you're mentioning someone on social media, you type @ and you insert their name. It works the same way here. To quickly create a page, though, you can just write / page, or you can link to a page. You can also turn a block into a page. The next block then is to do. And that's another block that has its own shortcut, it's not a shortcut, its own command. That's the word I want. It has its own command, so you can quick add the check, which is the brackets. and then you press space. So bracket, open, bracket close, space, type whatever you want, and that can be clicked and checked. Press enter, and then it's gonna add a new one. Press tab. On Mac, it's the arrow button. I don't know if I can show. It's not probably gonna show it properly. To indent, so you can add option 1. Command D to duplicate that block. Enter to edit. So, or you can just click on, right? Let's leave it simple though. The next text blocks that we have are headings, title headings, just like you would put on Word docs, right? So you have a title, you have a subtitle, and you have a, I don't know what it's called, title, subtitle, and a small heading. Okay, so in formatting, we call it heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3, H1, H2, H3 for short. In Ocean, you can add a heading by typing whatever this is called, that symbol, and hitting space. So it automatically adds heading 1. Instead of looking in the list of blocks to find a heading, you just add it, quick add a heading with this thing, whatever it's called. Hit enter for a new block, add 2 of that thing, hit space, and it's gonna add, quick add a heading 2. Actually, this is heading 1. Let's specify what it is. With 2, I cannot write, of that. Enter again. 3, you got it, right? You got the point. Quick add a heading 3 with 3. Type whatever you want. Quick add a checkbox with and space. There we go. And then you can write anything here. The next blocks we have, if I'm not mistaken, oh, we have the table before. Okay, right. You can add a regular table that is not a database, just like a very simple one you would put it like on a notes on the phone. Notes on the iPhone has a table as well that you can, it's the same thing. This would be the column title, or actually top left is the neutral block. I don't know what's called. Neutral area, column title, values. Let's call it values. Column 1, and you can add a new column by finding this plus. Column 2. Value 1, value 2. If you press this button over here, if I find it, you can activate the header column, and the same thing for the header row, and even change the color of the row. This one here, I had the exact same background we already had. Not very smart. Brown. Okay, there you go. And now we have the lists: bulleted, numbered, and toggle. I love the toggle lists. I use it a lot for learning and studying. So if you are in StudyOS, which is one of my It is my most downloaded template. I think it is at 1,300 downloads. Thank you very much. Thank you. But you see that I use the toggles as flashcards, which we can look at it very soon. But to add a list, you type on hyphen and space. Add a list item with I hyphen and space. If you hit enter, it's gonna automatically add a list. Backspace to delete it. If you press 1 and a dot, add a numbered. Well, this is called a bulleted. Numbered list item with 1 and space. And you can add 5 as well. If you add, if you add 5 dots, it will continue, it will start from 5. So you don't have to start from 1. You can start from wherever you want, okay? But if you have a bulleted list, let's call it item number 1, and you hit enter and tab, you get a sub-item list. And you can do it many times with tab. To remove the indent, remove the indentation with shift tab. Honestly, I do not know indentation. Okay. Remove the indentation with shift tab, and you can do it as many times you've tapped. And then we have the toggle list. Toggle list can be activated with this guy over here and space. Inside the toggle list, you can add absolutely anything you want. Okay, you can add anything you want inside a toggle, including images, databases, other pages, blah blah blah, anything, absolutely anything, and then hide it. So I use it kind of like a flashcard. Okay, you can create a flashcard with toggles. The first media we're gonna use is gonna be /image. Easy to remember. Let's go with, I don't know, whatever, this photo. It's great for me. It's enough. This is a bridge. Boom, you've created a flashcard. Incredible. Now, toggles have also headings. So you can put a big toggle, a medium toggle, and a small toggle, and a regular size toggle. And guess what? How you do it? Add a toggle, then add a I don't know what it's called, to add a heading toggle. So this is a heading toggle, heading 1 actually. Type, then space, then and space. And you can even add a toggle here that will be hidden inside the main toggle. Cool, right? And it's the same for the other size toggles. So the little arrow guy, heading 2, toggle, you can type first and then do 2. And if you press Command Shift, it will close the toggle and open the toggle. So when you are studying with flashcards, Oh yeah, I remember this as a bridge. Oh yeah, I was correct. Close. Okay, quick study like that. And now this is a heading 3 toggle. 3 guys, then space, then and space. I'm gonna copy this so we speed it up. And if I'm going too fast for you, pause the video, go back, slow it down, because otherwise I'm gonna be here for 3-4 hours and I don't want that. I want this to be straightforward and engaging and okay. If you want, you can also just watch the whole thing and then come back and pause so you pay full attention on what I'm doing, even if you don't understand what I'm doing. And then later you come back, pause the video or watch it slower, whatever suits you. Okay? Do the stuff that works best for you. The next block that we have here in the list are the quotes and the divider. So the quote, you can just add the quote mark and we'll add a quote with quote mark and space. If you want to break the line in the quote to maintain the little line it added, it's Shift Enter to add a next line break, or a soft break, we call it soft break. Because if you hit enter, then it's going to add a new block. Okay, so you can add, for example, the quote by some person, the name of the person. The next one was the divider, and the divider is just a simple line that you can add to divide your page. Divide sections. You can, for example, then after a divider, you can add a title. To add a divider, you can type hyphen 3 times. I think it's 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Let's do like that without spaces. You saw I moved the block, right? I did this. This is Command Shift arrow up and down. So Command plus Shift plus arrows up, down to move blocks on a page. All right. Next, we have the media blocks, which we already looked into the image really quickly, /image. When adding, for example, a link from a web page into the into the block, you're gonna get asked, oh my god, wait, how do I do that without it? You're gonna get a pop-up asking to create a bookmark or to embed the page, but you can add a bookmark as well, like this, because for example it's not showing the pop-up for me. Create bookmark. Sorry, I think I actually left with 2 E's. And it will create this little block with a link and a preview of the page, okay? So that's a bookmark. We have image, and when you type in a YouTube video, if you copy the link of a YouTube video and you paste into Notion, you can embed the playable button of the video. That image is really annoying. And you can watch the video inside the Notion page. Really cool. That embed is so powerful, okay? There is actually something I want to show you from the images. I added that image that irritated me, I deleted, and then I realized there is something I can show you. So when you add an image, you have a few extra options, okay? You can add a comment, and we are not gonna go over comments right now, but you can also align the page, the image on the page. So on the left of the page, now it's not gonna change because the image is taking the content size completely. Center, right, you can add a caption, which will show under here. You can also download the original. When you add an image into Notion, Notion will take that image and upload to their service and then display it for you. On a free account, you can add up to 5 megabytes of media of any kind. So if the image is over 5 megabytes, then it's gonna show an error and you're gonna be like, oh my God, what do I do? Okay, so you have to try and compress it somewhere, I don't know. On the more actions, we have delete, duplicate, copy link to original, copy link to block, view on full screen. You can also hit space, which I did there by accident. You can view the original, download, replace, move, blah, blah, blah. All the other stuff, explore that. But when you hover the image, and that's what I remembered, you get this little black vertical bars, which you can drag and change. That's so cool, right? You can make a blog post inside here. This stuff actually excites me. Whenever Notion gets something cool and new like this, I go like, whoa, okay? It's like Christmas. I get overly excited. And you can change also the ratio vertically, so you can make the image show more, show less, be a super tiny little sliver of an image, which actually makes for really cool dividers on a page, okay? You can make really cool dividers on, instead of using this boring gray divider, you can get a color from somewhere, or even from Unsplash, or I don't know, wherever you want, and create a cool little divider. So exciting. Okay, let's continue. Plus, we were doing through the plus. I'm gonna skip the databases. I think that's the next thing, to look at the other blocks, and then we're gonna come back to the databases. But you can also embed audio and files and code if you want. If you work with codes, that's for you. Just like you would embed an image. So for audio and file, it's just like an image. Remembering 5 MBs. With audio, you can also embed an entire Spotify, my diction going already, playlist within Notion. So you can show, for example, in some of my, I'm not gonna open it here, because I'm gonna have to go through my entire workspace to show you, and I don't wanna do that. But you can embed Pinterest boards, you can embed Spotify playlist by copying the link. If you hit share, copy link, Command V or Control V here, embed, you're gonna embed a preview of your list. Now it would be much better to show you. I don't know where my phone is. Let's try getting a playlist then quickly. While we drink water. Drink water, people. A lot of water. Let's get some bossa nova playlists. Hit share, copy link. If I'm lucky enough, iCloud is going to be working. Create embed. And then it's going to embed my playlist, my bossa nova playlist. And with the playlist, you also get this, these controls to make it a preview of the playlist, to make it a tiny preview of the playlist, and so on. Cool, right? Pinterest boards as well, super cool if you are making like a brand universe and you want to display the images that speak to your brand, or if you are making a client area and you want to display the inspirations for your design work, you can make a board on Pinterest that gets updated automatically into the client's area. Okay, so you can start thinking a little bit over Notion, like outside of Notion, and bring that in to build something that is different. Then we have the AI blocks, which I'm gonna skip for now as well. We have the advanced blocks, and the advanced blocks, from the advanced blocks, the button is my little baby. I absolutely love the button. I think once they added this, it used to be a template button in which it added the blocks for you, but now this, mama, it was like Christmas. Let's go over the columns, because I think the columns are something that people love and use and want a lot, but they don't know that can be done in Notion. So the columns create breaks. Well, columns, you know what columns are. Creates breaks, vertical breaks on the page. But you can also access the columns by /, if I can type it, and then the amount of columns you want, because it will show up in here. And then you just hit enter. And then if you select the page, you can see, wait, selecting it wrong. You can see that there are 2 blocks here, and you can add a title with a title, an interesting title, interesting title, some text that describes that title, and then an image to go along. We love cookies. Another cool thing, okay, if you add the 2 dots and you type cookies, you're gonna get an emoji. We love cookies, so you can add a lot of emojis in line with your text like this. So cookies, cookie for everyone. I actually would love a chocolate cookie with hazelnut. Anyway, so let's go and see the button. The button runs automations for you. The button can add blocks, it can add pages into databases, which you're gonna look next. It can change some properties in the databases, and it can link databases. This opens a world in Notion and in what you can do Notion, which is what gets people a little like, oh my god, I'm gonna freak out because there's so many options, I don't know what to click. Breathe, okay? First, we're gonna look at what blocks we've seen and what we can do with these blocks. So you add a button and you can put an emoji. Let's put cookie, since we are going all over with cookies. Add new cookies to this page. When any of these occur when a button is clicked, we are going to do an action. So you can insert blocks, you can add a page, you can edit page, you can show a confirmation, so like yes and no. Yes, the automation will continue. No, the automation stops. Don't worry about it. Or you can open a different page, full screen, on the side, in the center. But we're just gonna insert blocks for now, okay? Insert blocks below or above the button. Let's go above the button. And here, right here, it functions, this press / for comments area, this area where my cursor is blinking, it's like a new page. So the page that we are on, you can recreate it inside the button, and every time you press the button, that page will be added. So let's say you are a designer and you create a client area that you want to use with all your clients, with an onboarding, with a project timeline that you customize for each client, with a contact page, with a place for them to drop items, with a Pinterest board, with maybe a custom Spotify, I almost said Shopify again, playlist you create for them, for that brand. You can add all of this with the click of that button. You build the page inside this area, so you can add a page here. Editing a template in a button. So this could be a client area. Let's put cookies in the title as well. Hit back, hit the edit button on the button, and now it's over here. But we can also add a cookie. Thank you. Not cool, cookie. Click done, and when you click, add new cookies to this page, add new cookies to this page, add new cookies to the page, you get it. Really, really powerful little button, and I recommend you play with it. And they've also added now recently a property in a database, which we're gonna look after I tell you that you can create 2 columns. This is a column with some text. I'm just gonna do like this. And then inside this column, you can add more 2 columns so that you can have a really cool. Let's add 3 columns on this one, and a image. This time we are gonna add cookies from Giphy. Command D to duplicate this guy, so we can work a bit faster. So you can create columns inside columns, and maybe even list pages, like view more. So you can essentially, you can make a website inside Notion, present your work like this. Completely possible. The next block that I kind of skipped is the table of contents. The table of contents will work like an index in an ebook, for example. So it gets all the headings from that page and creates a link. So that's something you'd actually add on top of your page. Let me go all the way, Command Shift arrow up. I don't know if there's a easier way to drop it into the top. There probably is, but so that you can just jump over the spot in the page that you want. So for example, when I create brand universes, I add, because the page is so long that I need a quick way to navigate that page. I need to see something that is like, I need to play, instead of scrolling all the way down, table of contents, okay? So if you see if you see a page getting too long, add a table of contents. It's gonna make browsing that page a lot easier. Onboarding of clients, onboarding of freelancers, or whoever you are, employees, collaborators. Blog post, if you're creating blog posts inside Notion. I just had the idea that I should make my website entirely inside Notion. That would be really cool, actually. That would be very fitting too. What else you should use table of contents? If you're writing a book and you are breaking your chapters into sections, because I would recommend putting chapters on different pages, because it can slow down. Notion has improved a lot, but the page will slow down if it's too long. Okay, so I would break your chapters into sections, if that's something you're gonna do, and then put it there like that with the table of contents. The breadcrumb, it's the same thing that you get when you click on the title of your page over here on the bar, on the top bar. You get, it's because we don't have pages inside pages, but if we click here, you get this clickable path. So view more is inside of testing blocks, and that's the breadcrumb. It's like the path back to the root of your workspace, to the main page of your workspace. But you can display that breadcrumb inside a page. So actually this makes more sense inside this page over here. So you get this exact same pathing inside, in line with your page. So if you're making a website within Notion, you can use that as a way for people to navigate. Next block, I think we're gonna start with the databases. Sorry. Synced blocks. I absolutely adore synced blocks. They will get whatever you put inside this red line, and then you can copy and sync. So this cookie is special cookie. Okay, we're gonna copy and sync it. Copy it. Now paste in any page to sync content. I'm just gonna go to this page of view more, paste it here, and you can see now that you are editing in one other page. Testing blocks, which is the original, view more, this page. So if I add anything in between the red line, it's gonna show exactly the same thing in the original in any other page I duplicated. So when you duplicate one of my templates, you're gonna see a synced block that if I change in my workspace, you're gonna see the change in your workspace. Cool, right? But I will not have access to your workspace. The connection happens automatically. Automagic, not automagic. Automagic syncing of blocks. So all the way back, it's synced. I adore this block. And now we are gonna look at databases. Okay. Databases, they work like Excel sheets. When you open an Excel document, you are able to add many pages. I do not use Excel a lot, so excuse me if I say something that is not accurate with whatever version of Excel is working right now. I'm gonna think of Google Sheets because I have more familiarity with it. But when you open a Google Sheet, you get a bar at the bottom that you are able to add more sheets to, or you are able to get a sheet and filter it. In Notion, it works very similarly. You get a database, you put a database, you filter and order the entries of the database. What makes Notion an extra step ahead, in my opinion, is that each entry is a page just like this one, where you can add other databases, media, text, whatever you want, embeds, whatever it is that you want. And you also have different views. So if you have, for example, in each column is called a property. So if you have a date property, okay, instead of adding a date, you're gonna pick it from a calendar. Instead of typing a date, you pick it from a calendar. And then you can filter from things that were updated, created, or the deadline, the date deadline is set to a week ago. And you can see that as a list or as a calendar, for example. So you can see the entries with everything inside of it with a calendar. The main information from your database, when you filter, sort, or create a view, is unchanged. So you can create, for example, a database that shows the habits you want to do every day, but only show the entry for today. You can create a journal database, which is also for, no, actually the journal is not for free, but the automatic habit tracker template is for free. That took a minute. You can get it, you can get your journal entries for today automatically created. So all you have to do is journal, actually just type. Inside that page, for example, you can create whatever journal template you want and follow that template every time, every day, so that you take a step away from your, take some friction away from the process of journaling. But let's look at it in a more practical way, okay? I'm gonna add another page called testing databases. Keep the same format, and instead of a circle, we're gonna add a square. Hide here. Sorry, I'm gonna leave these pages for you to duplicate as well if you want, and to access. Oh my god. / inline, and you get a database that is inline. And by default, Notion is gonna give you a name column, a tags column, and in a table view. The first thing you can do is just a database test, add a title. I recommend creating very specific titles for your databases so that when you are creating relations, which we're going to talk about, so when you are linking databases or when you are looking for information with command K, I think, yeah, you search, command search. That's new. Oh, cool. Anyway, you can find the database more easily, okay? Breathe. So what we are looking at now is a very basic database. It doesn't have anything, it doesn't have a template, it doesn't have any filtering, it doesn't have any properties, any special properties. To add a property, you click on plus. To view all your properties, you can click either here or in the three dots. And in these three dots, you get a lot of other options. Okay, a lot of buttons to play with. Here you can change the icon of the view. And you can also add a name, basic view. I normally create a all props, all properties database or view of the database, so that I can work with all properties and then also hide these properties so that I only see what matters. I don't have to see all the formulas and all the relations. I maybe just need the name and a checkbox, or I just need the name and a status. So you can also hide, not only you can filter and sort your entries, you can also hide certain properties. And here is where you change the layout. We're gonna look at different layouts. Here you can see the properties, you can hide and show them. You can filter, you can sort from here, or from here is the same thing. You can add sub items, don't worry about it right now. Dependencies, don't worry about right now. Load limit, I normally leave it at 10, maximum 25. If you have a journal and you are loading 100 pages, your loading is gonna be slow, okay? You can, but it will be slow. And then some automations, which is mostly a paid feature. You can do very little with free automations. You can lock the database so that you cannot change anything, change the properties of the database. You can still edit it with a button, for example. You can copy a link to view. So what I normally do is that I add all the props I need in these all props without worrying about views, filtering, sorting. And then I create a new view with all the information. I hide what I don't need. I filter the way that I need. I sort how I need. Copy the link to the view and put in whatever page I need that view in. And you can also duplicate the view or delete the view. Over here in the blue button, we have a button to add a new entry to the database, which is the same as this one down here. And the little arrow shows the templates for the database, which is where a lot of the power of the databases also lie in. When I said that you could have your habits showing up every day as an entry, you create a template and you set a repetition. We're gonna look at it later. I just want you to know that this is where you get the database templates. At the moment, that's what you need to know. You can search the database and you can open it as a full page. When I'm working on a database, I normally click here. Okay, you can add an icon. Let's add a cookie. And cover. I normally don't add covers because I feel like it takes the space from the page and I don't want to have that dead space on my page. A few things you need to note is that once you open the database, you lose the options to change the font. Okay, it's just a view, you are kind of like opening a folder in a way. By default, we get name and tags. I'm gonna show you a trick with tags already that is gonna save you a lot of time. But what I wanna do right now is delete these three entries, these three empty entries, because I'm not gonna need them right now. So you get a little selector on the left side of name that if you click, you can get all of them selected, and it shows here 3 selected. You can also edit some properties, so you can set the properties or create a new property, create a new setting for the property. And you can also change the icon. So maybe you change the template or the color, or you want to, you create a new template and you want to change the current entries you want. You can do that here. But for now, I'm just gonna delete, and you can also duplicate, which is also very useful. So I'm just gonna delete these. I'm also gonna click on tags and delete this property. Okay. Then on plus, you're gonna get suggestions by AI. If you wish to use AI inside Notion, super cool. I recommend at some point. But for now, we're gonna ignore all the purple stuff. So we get all of these databases and connections with external websites like Google Drive, Figma file. For now, we're gonna look at the properties. The properties that are very advanced are formulas, relations, and rollups. So these are gonna be the last ones we're gonna look at, okay? And the button. The same button that we used on the page can be added to trigger actions and change properties of the entry, or add pages inside your workspace. It works the same, plus change the property of that one entry. Breathe. It's fine. It's okay. You're gonna go through this. Don't worry. Watch the entire thing, then come back. Add a text. Okay, property text. The little trick I was gonna do with you is using this property. Okay. So this can be a description. This can be I normally use as a description, okay? I don't use this much more, or as a setup for tags and, wait, I'm gonna take it a step further. Add a property description. This can be used to tell users what they are supposed to fill in the property. So now when you hover the title of the column, it shows that little description. But I normally, which is what I was gonna write before, I normally use text as description, or as a setup, a setup for tags and selectors. Why? Okay, because when you add a tag, a select, multi-select, or a tag, you have to add them, the options, manually. Option 1, option 2, option 3, and then they have different colors. I don't like it. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this property, and I'm gonna delete this property, and we're also going to see the difference between these two. Okay, I'm just gonna duplicate this one. Just follow along. You're gonna see. Then I'm gonna add a row, and I'm gonna write option 1, comma, option 2, comma, option 3, comma, option 4, comma, option 5, comma. I don't actually think you need to add spaces, but enter. I'm gonna copy this and paste to the next thing. Wait, I'm gonna duplicate it once. Really, Notion? Because now what I'm gonna do is take this one, this property, edit it, type, select. Magic. Tell me if that's not magic. You can also change the sorting, alphabetical. We are going to talk about the difference between these two, okay? Select and multi-select, don't worry. You can choose reverse alphabetical so that the bigger numbers or bigger letters, the Z is before, right? Or you can manually set the order of things. Let's leave alphabetical. Let's do the same thing with the other one, but choose multi-select. And here you can already see the difference between these two, okay? So this description. So select can be used select can be used to display just one option, whilst multi-select, as the name suggests, this display multiple options. So for example, if you are categorizing things, which is part of the getting things done, the GTD, if you are categorizing things, you want to have maybe a main category, business, personal, finances, I don't know. And the tags, which is what we had before. It put the name and tags. These can be tags. So you can have AI, images, trips, other options that are more random. And then you can match and then filter. You can filter with the select or the multi-select. So if you click filter, multi-select, you can show only option 1 or only option 2. What? Oh. I meant to add the select. Option 1, option 2, so that it disappears. Let me delete that filter. Then we're gonna have the number. The number is another one that I use a lot. If you have My Financial Hub, you've dealt with numbers here. And I'm not gonna go through all of the possibilities with the numbers. Just gonna show you the main things that you can do, such as the formatting of the number. So it can be a number with commas, it can be an integer number, it can be a percentage, or it can be a, what is the name in English? The currency. It can be a currency. And then here you can show it as a bar, as a ring, or as a regular number. So if you have a percentage and you show it as a bar, so this is going to be 100%. This can be 50%. This can be 10%. And it automatically shows divided by 100. You can also change the color of the bar. Customize it a little bit. It can be a ring, like a progress ring, like you would get on your Apple Watch. We're gonna leave it at that, okay? But if you have a currency, there's one more thing. One more thing. Let's do like Apple. One more thing. If you have a currency and divided just a number, let's put 100, and let's put another entry here with 50. You can get a calculation from your column, like a sum an average or a median. Median and average are different, okay? But in this case, it won't show much. You can also get the lowest value, you can get the max value, or you can get a range from the division between the two, right? 50, if I put, let's put a different number. So it will be 100 minus 20, it's the range is 80. Or we can sum. So you can create a financial, for example, sheet from this. We have the date option, which you can also display as a relative date. So if we press here on today's date, it's going to show today. I prefer using relative. That's why I went straight to it, because it eliminates of like, oh, what day is today? Oh, so it was yesterday. No, it will show that it was yesterday automatically. Much easier. Tomorrow, last Friday, March, Monday, Tuesday, from this week, right? Yesterday, tomorrow, Sunday. And you can also create an end date, so, and include a time, so that it will show the range of the date. You can add a status that I skipped by accident and show it either as a checkbox or a select if you have multiple status. And then you have 3 levels. You have to do, in progress, and complete. So in a tasking system, you usually have a status property. So this can be in progress. And then you can filter that as well. More water, more water, more water. You can mention people. I'm gonna go over some of what I find least important at the moment, okay? You can add people so that you can assign a task, for example. Since I don't have anybody in my workspace, I can even demonstrate this. You can add files and media. I don't use that a lot. Okay, I just normally add the file inside the entry because I think it gets too much, right? You can add a checkbox just like we added on the page before. And then you can add a URL, an email, and a phone that are clickable. So you can create a contact system, a CRM, access from your phone, and just with one click, call the person. You can write formulas, perform calculations with any database, with any property. We're not gonna go into formulas right now because it's very advanced. And you can connect databases as well as show informations from that connection. So I can pull informations, you can link two databases and then pull one information and display on the other. You can show when a journal entry, for example, was created, and it works. It shows relative dates as well, so created time was today. Or you can hide the format. You can hide the date from the formatting. Edit property, time format hidden, 12 hour, 24 hour, or hidden. Edit time works the same way. So if I now maybe edit this a little bit, it will show that I added it at 11:45. the next thing we're going to talk about, and then you have created by, last edit by. I don't have other users. Normally I work by myself, so I rarely use the person properties, but they work similarly. It just shows who edited. If the person property will reference the person that you've selected, and these two will show who has last edited or who created the page. I'm gonna skip button for now to show you the ID. The ID is a non-editable property, okay? It shows a sequential number with a prefix if you want. Sequential, is that how you write it? Sequential numbering. So you can organize financial entries, for example, or something. I don't use that a lot, but I see where it could be used. Okay, so if you want to organize like processes, you can add a unique entry number. Then you have the button, which is exactly, you see, like it's the same UI, it's the same thing, but you can set this set as done. Let's think of it like that. Check, we already have the check, set as done. The label, you can add an emoji. I'm sorry, but I don't know how to add emojis automatically from Windows, but on the Mac you can configure the function button to show the emoji, and I use this a lot, as you can see. And I normally add set as done as a green like this, add action, and then you're gonna get the same options as we did on the other button, but the properties from this database. So you can set the status from this entry as done, for example, and if we duplicate this, we can add it as set as in progress, blue, because progress is automatically blue. Then I'm gonna drag this property so we can see the change happening. Okay, so if I click here, set as done, this one is already in progress. So set in progress, set as progress. Really cool, and that's something I'm gonna add in the Study OS very soon. I've been playing around with my own version of it. Okay, so from the main properties, that's what we're gonna get for now. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about relations just yet because I feel like I've already dumped a lot of information. And I might make a part 2 where we talk only about relations and rollups, because I feel like that's a lot to take in. So we are gonna take a quick look before we finish this into properties, or into layouts and the property hiding and showing, as well as the filtering and sorting, as well as grouping, because I use grouping a lot. And maybe the subitens, okay, depending how long this goes for, because we've been here for an hour and a half already. So the layouts I use the most are the calendars, and then there are two types of calendars, weekly and monthly. I use both a lot. I use the gallery a lot to display, for example, my habits. I think I use the gallery the most. That's probably the most used one. The board I use mostly for my content, creation database. The list I don't use a lot. I use it for the grocery because it doesn't wrap all the columns. It doesn't show the entire column. It cuts it off and I don't like it. But if I only have, for example, checkbox property to display, so like a grocery list, I use the list because it's a little shorter than the gallery. The timeline I use for launching products, but not much. But if you are a designer and you want to show the timeline of a job that you're doing for a client, so inside a client area, you can add a timeline and show the step-by-step that has instructions inside the page that the client can click in. You know, that's a way to use the timeline. But let's look at the gallery because it's the one that I feel like people will use the most, and the calendar, and it's the most useful ones, and you can basically apply the same thing for lists and boards. Okay, so board and gallery both have a card preview option, and the rest do not. Okay, which means that you can see whatever images or texts are inside your page as a preview, right? You get it. You also have the option to fit the image or the content, fit the image inside a block. I'm gonna show you. Card size, I normally go for small. I only display medium or large if I want to create like a vision board or the visual elements of my brand. My recipe book I might put on large because the images are so nice, but normally small is my way to go because it takes up less space. I normally turn show page icon off, but not always. It depends on the database. And what this one does, wrap all properties, is that if you have a text, a description, instead of it all being in one line and then cutting off where the card ends, it will break the line. So the text is going to continue. This can make the page really long. So that's why they've added this, okay? But you can turn it on and off depending on whatever you are displaying. So let's add an image here really quickly, so you can see what happens, and then some text here. So another thing, when you open the page and you've created a lot of properties, you can hide these properties by clicking on the title. You can just hide it. Always hide. Always hide, or you can hide when empty. I normally leave last edited time, okay? Let's leave the number, select, we can hide when empty. And now we have, all right, books, and we have text. So you can edit text. You can edit the page title and icon from directly here. You don't need to open the page to do that. Whatever. Edit book. And you can reposition the image as well to show the part that you want. So now we got like a gallery with nothing, with no properties. I want to show the buttons only and the status. So I can click in my options, use my options as normal, nothing changes. This is actually now gallery. Let me add the all props again. Wait, all props. That was my bad. You can group these properties by status, for example, so that you will sort manually. You will display divisions. You will display the entries in sections, and you can hide the entries that you want by toggling. Filter, if we want to show only in progress and complete, only in progress, and to do, and then it's going to show that, hey, we don't actually have any to do. So if we open the hidden groups, we get the other two groups that are empty. You can also change this option inside whatever you're grouping by to sum by the number or the property number, or to show the range, date range of created time, date, last edited time. So and you can download all my templates later on and test these things because they are present in a lot of them. Now range, some. So in a category, financial categories, you have your budgeting, okay? You can show the budgets or the expenses per categories and show how much you've spent in each category. So that's what grouping does. It will get a property and group by that property, and you can do that with lists, you can do that with board, and you can do that with gallery. The board, if we duplicate this guy and change it to board, because I duplicated, it already took the grouping. So now it is like this. It shows the grouping in a board, like it would, like in Trello, for example. But because we're filtering, it's not showing the one. It's not showing, because we filtered it out. It's not showing the done one we had. So if I delete the filter, it will come back. Okay, a lot of people get confused, like, oh my god, why didn't my add? And I do that sometimes too. Just recently I was like, I'm putting my doctor appointment in this thing and it's not showing, and then I realized, oh, I had a filter. Just set a filter up. Just delete the filter. Genius. So be careful when you're filtering stuff and grouping, because it might just disappear and you not see it. Okay, but gallery and board are very similar in that sense that they are displayed by, actually the board is already by status. I just realized that. So the grouping is not working necessarily for anything here. So if I group by multi-select, oh, the board doesn't work like that. It's the subgrouping then that it will do it. Okay. Right. Let's go back to status and now go to subgroup. Right, I forgot about that because I don't use the board a lot. So if we want to get the progress and a category, and I find this very confusing, my brain just cannot handle this information, which is why I don't use it a lot. I don't use boards a lot, because now there's no select on this one. There's no option on this in progress content, right? So if I drag it to option 1, that will disappear. But that's so confusing, subgrouping and grouping for my brain, that I just rather not deal with it. I just don't deal with it. I just group enough. Next view is the calendar view, and we can show the calendar by, because we have 3 different dates properties. It can either be by date, by created time, or last edited time. And the mistake I was doing is that I was doing created time and filtering it out, so I had to reconfigure things. But date will show as a regular calendar with a deadline. It's showing the deadline. You can show it as a weekly calendar or a month calendar, and you can hide or show the weekends. So if you're doing a availability calendar for your clients to book in using Notion calendar, which we're not gonna look at right now, then you can hide the weekends so that they are not able to use that option. They're not able to book you on the weekends. You can change how pages open, full page, or side peek, or center peek. So basically now it's center peek and side peek, or full page, which is a regular full page. And that's up to you. So if you click here, it will open Notion Calendar, which is the calendar app that you can and should use. Okay, you can see all your tasks and calendars in one place. It's really useful. I'm so glad I've done the app. And you can also show sub-items. Okay, sub-items are my perfect way to group things. Maybe we should leave that one for when we talk about relations. But basically, you can nest one item, one entry inside another. That's all you're gonna know for now. Okay? What I want you to do, choose 1 or 2 templates from, let me come back, from my gallery of free templates. Yes, shameless plug. Try to copy the template, or even from Notion themselves. Okay, just go over here, templates, find something that you think looks fun, and try to duplicate that page inside Notion, inside your test workspace. Now remember that you can delete pages, you can duplicate pages, so you don't mess with whatever it is that you just downloaded. You can create a test workspace that is not going to be a final workspace. It's just for you to like mess around and make mistakes, and then create a new workspace, which is done here, like I showed in the start. Join or create a workspace, and then actually build your workspace. And then if you create something cool from one workspace to anyone that in the other one, you can move to down here. You can choose the workspace you want it to move it to, and then it will duplicate. You will have 2 copies. You will have the original copy, and then it will duplicate into the new workspace. So when it comes to making mistakes, Notion got you. Okay, you can also see if you click this little clock button over here, updates, and it will show you. There is a way to like view edit history. So you can restore the versions from the page and the databases. So you can go back to what it was, I don't know, an hour ago or yesterday. There is a limit, I think, on the free plan for 7 days. So just be mindful of that. But that's basically all you need to know to get started with Notion from the start. And I just realized I show you, wait, Notion screen. The Notion screen wasn't here. Rookie mistake. Create or join a workspace over here. Move the page to duplicate into another workspace from here. and 3 dot buttons, view edit history, restore any version you want from the base, the database or the page. Okay, well, you can also reset a database. So there's plenty of room for making mistakes, plenty of room for you just testing things out. I do recommend you study, and we can make a video on that on the productivity systems, or get a productivity system that someone else has already created. For example, I have the premium productivity system that is a very simple system for you to get started. I have the free templates, diction. Let's focus on our diction, that you can download and get for free. The free bundle, you get a bunch of them, and then you just organize what's personal and what's not personal, what's business. You just create a personal page, personal, business, and you can even create like a inbox and a today page, so that you can filter your calendar. Filter, for example, your gallery. Actually, let me remove the grouping. And remove the page content preview. Filter by date created today, so it only shows what was created today. And then you can copy the link to the view and paste it on a today page that you can then add as a widget on your phone, for example. So you only see what's today, your entries today, your expenses today, blah, 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 blah. You get like an overview of today. That's how you use Notion smartly. Okay. I'm kind of itching to show you the demo of the solopreneur system, but that's going to be for special occasions. Okay, I'm gonna create a cool video that you can see what's in the solopreneur OS. But that's everything you need to know to get started working and playing around with Notion. Okay, if you have any questions, go on Instagram. I'm Julia Pagani, or Adventure Empire. Either way, I'm responsive. In either places, I'm responsive. Ask your questions. Let me know what you struggle with. Leave a comment as well. Like and subscribe, all the stuff. Because I'm responsive. I can make extra videos. I can make shorter TikTok videos. Okay, and I'm Julia Pagani as well. Answering those questions and showing more tips and tricks, because it's a lot to put in one video without it being too long and too tiring and too like ugh. So we're gonna split a little bit. The next video I'm gonna create, though, it's gonna be about the relations, the sub items, and the roll-ups. And maybe someday we're gonna talk about formulas. But the next video, you can expect to understand relations like a pro, so you can really level up your Notion game, and then start looking at advanced, intermediate to advanced templates, and creating a more of a second brain of informations that are interconnected, and that you can do all the magic. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you've come all the way to the end of the video, I want you to comment, I'm not the cookie monster. If you've come all this way, just leave a comment, I'm not the cookie monster, because I'll know that you are the real G. Okay, goodbye.